Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about how to deal with third parties, as a lot of times you'll end up getting into these congested areas where it feels like there's 4 or 5 people or teams around you and it feels kind of like a difficult situation. I'll be going over ways to avoid that, and if you do end up in a situation like that, I'll be going over ways on how to deal with that. One thing that a lot of people like to say when they're giving advice on how to avoid third parties are things like avoid congested areas and try to finish your fights as fast as possible. But that's not always the case. You can't always finish your fights super quickly, say they're turtling up, or even if you avoid the most congested areas on the map, there's still times where you're going to run into multiple players at once. Now what's important is, even if you don't finish the fight quickly enough, if you hear somebody else coming or you get sniped at, it's important to try to put a little bit of damage onto that player, and then that way you'll have a little bit of time to move and reposition yourself, so for when the other player arrives, you're going to be in the good position, hopefully putting yourself outside of the fight and having the other player you were first fighting in between you and the upcoming player. One thing that I used to despise doing was disengaging, because for the most part I felt like I had already spent so much ammo, my mats, all my shields on one player that I don't even end up getting the elim for. But even though I spent all of that, I can always refarm, and if 3 or 4 other players decide to push in or whatever the case is, you're going to end up probably losing that match just because they're coming in with a lot more mats, they're coming in more with health and shield, and they're going to have just about everything they need to win a fight. In comparison, if you've already spent a good chunk of your mats, your ammo and stuff, it's going to be a lot harder for you to win that engagement in comparison. Now, you're not always going to have the chance to disengage or reposition yourself, so it's important that sometimes you're going to have to realize you have to fight them and immediately try to get yourself in the best position possible, which of course is on high ground, because when you're on height, you're going to have a lot better view of whatever is going on and how many players are there, and it's going to allow you to be able to dictate the fight a lot easier. For example, say you're fighting somebody and you get them super weak and they decide to box up to heal a little bit, and you're trying to break into their box and everything, but another player decides to come up from behind, and at that point it's important to not get focused on that first guy that you originally got weak, as if you do, you're going to leave yourself open and vulnerable to the second guy that came. Now at that point I would typically just get a little bit of height or make sure I'm above everybody within that fight, and in there you can make sure that you're healing up and you can kind of reset the fight entirely and get a good view on the situation. As well, you might not always get that elim on the guy you got weak, but if you're healed up and you play it right, you should be able to finish off the guy that came second. Alright, that is going to wrap up the video there for you guys. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. And if you guys have any suggestions for future videos, make sure to leave a comment down below. And other than that, I'll see you guys all in the next one.